training session, atmosphere today was unreal. Not really because my lifts were like that impressive today, I wasn't really going that heavy, but just training with some of the guys there. I think some guys came up from London and were training as well, and like doing some filming, so the atmosphere was just insane in the gym today. And Craig managed to hit a new PB on his SSB. He managed to get 230 kilos, which is just insane. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get his bench press PB, but he still did really well on that, I think. And I think he's been a bit hard on himself there. But yeah, this week in terms of training has been really good, but very, very different. And there is a reason for that. And I was kind of in two minds about talking about this on camera and putting it up online because it can be a little bit of a delicate topic. But basically, I've changed coaches, so I'm not with Ben anymore. And why it's delicate, obviously, sometimes when you sort of separate from a coach, it can be a bit like a breakup.
Are you breaking up with me?
Why don't you just put some clothes on, okay?
And there can be drama that comes with that, but I just want to sort of say that there is no drama involved with the reason that I'm sort of splitting with Ben. I've made the most progress I've ever made under Ben's coaching in terms of powerlifting, and I loved the way he programmed for me, had a really good relationship with him. But now that I've sort of changed gyms, just there's a lot of changes going on in terms of like my training, just sort of my mentality, and I wanted to go with a coach who was a little bit more local and can actually have a bit more input on my form close up. So I've gone with a guy called Matt Daniels, who I've actually known for a very long time as well, and is a guy that I trust a lot with my programming. So I've gone with him, and the first week has gone really, really well. He's been able to address a few things which needed addressing really, and like I say, he was able to do that close up because he was able to get a good, a really close up view on some of my form, and that's obviously something with an online coach that you can't really do from a distance because camera angles and that sort of thing don't always highlight some issues that might be going on. So Matt has been able to really look at my form, in particular my squat and my deadlift form, and he's been able to identify a few things which need changing, and already I'm starting to feel the benefit from that, and it's only been a week. But the big difference I think from coaching with Matt at the moment is the fact that my sets are a lot higher and the intensity is slightly higher, but the rep ranges are a bit lower, and I think that does suit me. It'll be interesting to see how I really get on with that in the weeks to come, but so far it's really, really good and I'm enjoying it. So I started off the week with deadlifts and I worked up to 210 kilos on single, and that's the other thing, he's got me doing conventional at the moment, so we'll wait and see how that pans out. I was in two minds about that, but it'll be interesting to see how I can progress my conventional going forward. And with squats, we've just sort of really focused on slightly externally rotating my feet just to try and get a little bit more glute engagement and get that active through the squat movement, because that's something that I think has been an issue with my hips, is I'm not sort of generating enough external rotation in the squat, and it's putting a lot of strain on my hips. So like I say, with Matt, he's been able to look closely at my squat and he's been able to identify that, which doesn't always get picked up in video. So yeah, it's exciting times ahead. I am obviously gutted that I am sort of separating from Ben, because like I say, I have had really good times training with him, and he is a really, really good coach. I want to emphasize that point as well. And in terms of powerlifting and coaching, he's got like a really good future ahead as well. And who knows, in the future I may go back there. Really, really enjoyed his services, and I do massively recommend anyone that wants to get into powerlifting or strongman or any sort of fitness or strength training to go with the strength movement, because I had a really good time there. So while obviously I really want to emphasise that there's absolutely no animosity between me and Ben, it is important to recognise the opportunity that I've got here working with Matt, just to have someone so local, but also with his experience and knowledge as well, because his knowledge of things like biomechanics and just lifting mechanics is really, really good. And just I can see from the other lifters that he trains, I mean Craig, who is just featured in this video, he is coached by Matt as well, and you can just see the improvements that he's been making as well, just working closely with Matt. And to be honest, I've known Matt for a very long time. In fact, Matt was the first person to ever teach me how to low bar. When I went into Hallfield for the first time, I was just doing high bar squats, not really knowing what I was doing, but he actually taught me how to properly low bar and taught me some proper techniques with my deadlift as well. So actually, I've known Matt for a very long time, and it's a guy that I really trust going forward. I'm trusting the program as well because, like I say, my goal really at the moment is just to get fit and healthy and just to try and get rid of some of those niggling injuries, and then we can really push forward and progress the strength and really hopefully get back to the level that I'd be happy with, really, which is, you know, pushing towards those bigger numbers. Like, I really want to get close to that 300 deadlift again. To squat 260 potentially at some point in the future would just be a big goal as well. And bench, who knows, like 160. But, you know, I can put numbers and everything, but it doesn't mean anything at the moment. But these are the goals that I've sort of set in the next sort of year, 2 years, whatever. But I'm just confident at the moment with Matt's guidance that I can get back to feeling strong, feeling healthy, and yeah, pushing those bigger numbers. So I think the last thing I really want to say is a big thank you to Ben for his coaching during the time that I was with him. Like I said, I've made the most progress in powerlifting while I was with him and his coaching for the couple of years that I was with him. He got me to the British Championships, and that was a goal that I never actually thought I'd get to when I first started powerlifting. I remember when I first started powerlifting, looking up to these guys that were like ridiculously strong, competing at the British Champs. I was like, I'm never going to get to that level. And I got there. That was sort of always been my goal in powerlifting. I was never looking at Europeans or World Championships because, you know, you've got to be realistic. I was never going to be at that level. But getting to the British Champs was a really big deal for me, and Ben was able to deliver that for me with the programming and everything. So I'm always going to be massively grateful to Ben for that. And to be honest, I'm still going to have an affiliation with the strength movement because I'm still going to go down to Athlete Movement and film the strength movement events like I was doing previously because I really enjoyed doing that. It's a great opportunity to meet up with people that I don't get to see very often. You know, I get to talk to people on social media, on Instagram, that sort of thing, but don't actually get to meet other people down that way very often. So it'd be really cool to be able to do that, but just more as a third party rather than someone that's actually part of the strength movement. So yeah, like I said, I didn't really want to bring it up in the video, but you know, in the interest of being transparent in these videos, I thought it's probably best that I mention what's happening in terms of my lifting and what's going on. But yeah, sometimes that is associated with drama, like I said, but not at all. It's nothing like that. And to be honest, it's a bit of an end of an era working with Ben. I've been with him obviously the longest time that I've been with any coach in powerlifting. So it's sad, obviously, but I think just going forward, like what I've mentioned before, I think this is the right move for me going forward with my lifting, and hopefully it pays off, and I'm sure it will, because yeah, the early signs of working with Matt are really good, and yeah, long may they continue. Alright, I think I'll wrap it up there. Bit of an update video really. I think I've waffled on just about enough to be able to fit in some of the training footage from this week. So yeah, if you leave the video a like, that'd be amazing. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.